Hi, readers and friends. Welcome to another episode of Prepare Your Shelf, where we try to just highlight some new books that are coming out this week. This week is the release date, November 18, and I've got 5 books for you today. The first one is called The Bookshop Below, and of course, as booksellers and book lovers, we love a story about a bookshop. This is about a secret network of magical bookstores that are underneath the streets of London. So already I'm hooked with that. But then there's some nefarious plot that is going on that is making some of them disappear. The owner of one of the famous ones mysteriously dies. And so a young woman who is a disgraced bookseller who's trying to make her way has to sort of try to figure out what's going on, try to solve the murder, comes up against maybe, a grumpy love interest who is also trying to figure these things out, and just uncover all of these secrets, this dark plot. Sounds fascinating. It is a standalone, so you're not going to get to the end and think, what next? So just a really interesting new take on the bookstore story. Thanks, Amy. That sounds really interesting. I also have a book for you. It is The Bovadium Fragments by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is previously unpublished work by Tolkien. His son Christopher has been sort of putting together some of his unpublished writings. I believe this is the last one. This is unlike his other works. It's not Middle Earth. It's not Lord of the Rings. This is a short satirical fantasy that grew out of a planning controversy that erupted in Oxford when he was a professor there. It's a parable of the destruction of Oxford by motor transport, which blocks the streets, asphyxiates the inhabitants, and finally explodes. I'm intrigued because it just sounds so unlike anything else that Tolkien has written. And I love a story about Oxford. So that is The Bovadium Fragments by J.R.R. Tolkien. Intriguing indeed. Another book for you, Violet Thistlethwaite is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krempholtz. This is about a plant witch who was previously forced to serve an evil sorcerer. And that evil sorcerer has now died, and so she decides to reinvent herself and open a flower shop in a little magical town. There is another grumpy love interest who is an alchemist. And they have to sort of work together to figure out why this magical plague is starting to take over their town. It also has mental health representation and anxiety discussions. It includes magic, alchemy, dragons, some sexy times, and just it sort of feels like India Holton meets Sarah Beth Durst meets Sarah Hawley, all of whom I love. And the cover, chef's kiss. So Violet Thistlethwaite is not a villain anymore. Amy really does love her sort of quirky gardener love interest magical books. Here's one that will be a good gift book for the holidays. It is called The Greatest Sentence Ever Written by Walter Isaacson. He is a very famous biographer. He wrote Elon Musk's biography. He wrote, now I'm blanking on other ones that he's written, very, very famous biographer of Americans. This year, he is doing a little take to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States, and is writing a book about the Declaration of Independence, specifically the key sentence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So he goes deep dive into sort of where that sentence came from and all sorts of other things. It's a cute little gift book. It'll be a great add-on for the holidays. Definitely know some dads, grandpas, grandmas, mothers, aunts and uncles who might be interested in that. My last one is just a little shout out, and this will be a great gift for any of your scholars, students. Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary finally has a new edition out after over 20 years. It has over 5,000 new words added, and some of the words that have been added include cold brew, heat dome, riz, gaslighting, telework, and doggo. So do with that as you will. Thank you for joining me and myself for Prepare Your Shelf. Hopefully you found something interesting or at least had a little laugh. See you next week.